Hey learners, welcome back. In the video series of chapter Financial Statement of Companies, the topic that we are going to discuss today is about the general instructions for preparation of the balance sheet under the Companies Act 2013. So under this act, few instructions have been mentioned that should be carefully applied while we are preparing with the balance sheet. So out of those instructions only, the first instruction we are going to cover in this video. Here we shall learn that while we are classifying an asset as current asset, what criteria needs to be taken care of. Okay? So our today's video will be on the criteria that should be taken care of while we are classifying any asset as current asset. So without any delay, let's begin with it. So when can we classify an asset as current? Some criteria are laid down. And in order to meet those criteria, any of the following has to be met. Means 3 points are mentioned over here, point A, point B and point C. It is not compulsory that all of the three have to be followed. Even if one of the criteria is matching, then we can classify an asset to be an current asset. Clear? Now let's have a look onto the three criteria that are mentioned. Point number A says, it is expected to be realized in, means my asset has to be realized. Realized means sold off. Clear? Or is intended for sale or consumption, means even if it is not actually being realized, my intention behind that asset should be that I have to sell it off or I have to consume it. When? During the normal operating cycle. Now I hope all of you must be knowing what is an operating cycle. Now in case you don't know or you have forgotten, I have the definition with me ready over here. What is an operating cycle? Let's read. An operating cycle is the time between the acquisition of assets and their realization in cash or cash equivalents. Where the normal operating cycle cannot be identified, it is assumed to have a duration of 12 months. Now what does that mean? What is an operating cycle? An operating cycle is the time that is between when we purchase an assets and we realize them in cash. The basic example I hope all of you must have learned while beginning of with class 11. Do you remember this example? First I had some raw materials converted into work in progress, means goods are being manufactured. Finally, goods were manufactured. I sold them to my debtors. Now debtors gave me bills receivable. I go deposit bills receivable in bank and bank gives me cash. Now with that cash I again purchase some raw materials. So what is this? This is my operating cycle. The cycle or the time period between the acquisition of assets when I'm purchasing the raw materials and then the time I take to get back cash again in order to purchase that raw materials. Okay, or I can say the time period which I take to convert those raw materials back into cash. That is actually my operating cycle. Understood? Now for many companies, if the operating cycle is not known, what we assume? We assume it to be 12 months or 1 year. Okay? Now let's get back to the text. So we understood what is an operating cycle. Let me read again. Operating cycle is the time between the acquisition of assets and their realization in cash or cash equivalents. Where the normal operating cycle cannot be identified, it is assumed to have a duration of how much time? Duration of 12 months. Clear? So this was about the operating cycle. Now let's get back to the criteria that we were discussing. First point, either it is expected to be realized or there has to be an intention to sell it off within the normal operating cycle. That is point number 1. Okay, what is point number 2? It is primarily held for the purpose of being traded. That means we are getting that asset with an intention in our mind that I will trade with it, I will sell it. Okay, I do not have the intention in my mind to preserve it in my business, like my land and building, machinery. Okay, what do I have the intention over here? I purchase that asset with the purpose of trading with it, with the purpose of selling it off. Okay, again purchasing, again selling, that can be done. Okay, second point is that. Third is, it is expected to be realized within 12 months after the reporting date. Now this is important. What do we mean by reporting date? A reporting date is actually the last day of the reporting period to which the financial statements relate. Now what does that mean? See, my financial statements which I am preparing, they have to be related to a particular reporting period. Okay, they relate to a particular reporting period. What do we mean by reporting period? In which I have to prepare it and I have to report it. Generally, this reporting period is 1 year. Okay, generally the financial year which we follow, that is from 1st April to 31st March, that is only kept in similarity to my reporting period. We prepare our financial statements and during that period only we have the reporting of it. We report our financial statements. Okay, so what is reporting date? Reporting date is the last day of my reporting period, and I have already told you my reporting period is kept similar to my financial year. That means my reporting date is nothing but the end day of my financial year, or we can also say my reporting date is actually 31st March. Isn't it? When reporting date is the last day of my reporting period, and we know that reporting period is same as my financial year. So can't I say that my reporting date is actually the last day of my financial year? And what is the last day of my financial year? It is generally 31st March. So if I am expecting to realize my assets within 12 months after the reporting date, then also I can call my asset, or I can classify my asset as current asset. If any of these 3 criteria are met, then according to Schedule 3 of the Companies Act 2013, we can call an asset to be current assets. So I hope today's topic would be clear to you. I shall meet you in the next video.